welcome y'all to St. Bernard Acres. Hey y'all, this is Joe out at St. Bernard Acres. Hey y'all, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. Sitting here in Wheeling at the mini homestead. Hey y'all, this is Joe from St. Bernard Acres. Hey y'all, this is Joe from the porch of the tiny house out here at St. Bernard Acres. Hey y'all, this is Joe out here at the cabin, St. Bernard Acres. Hey y'all, this is Joe here in Wheeling. Wanted to show you another score of some great pallets. It's almost 9 feet long and all oak. We spent the night out here, which was cool. But what was not cool was when I got here, come down to the barn, because I wanted to get the generator out, do a little work. And the barn was all locked up. And I opened these doors, looked in, and I noticed that that door right there was open. And we always keep that locked. But my big doors with padlock on them, they were still closed and locked. And I looked around. My generator is in that cart so that we can wheel it in and out of here pretty easily because it's heavy. And guess what? It's gone. Hey y'all. Joe from St. Bernard Acres. I want to talk a little bit about my channel and one of the new things I'm going to start doing to it.
That's about it. I'm starting to pack our suitcase for this weekend and next week. Hope everyone else had a good weekend. Wonderful Monday. Or in Australia, I guess it's probably Tuesday already. So, hey Lou, how you doing? Tomorrow we are going to go have lunch with another Homestead channel. They can't hear me, Daryl.
Yes, I can.
I can.
Okay, Daryl did something where now they can hear. No comment.
It was just your first sentence they didn't hear.
Because you didn't have it on again?
It was on, it just wasn't loud enough.
Okay. So tomorrow we are meeting up with another Homestead channel. I've been following them for quite a while. We've just met them at the Life Conference in Missouri. Are you going to say you don't know who it is?
I missed the first part of what you were saying.
This is the way my weekend's gone.
Oh.
So anyway,
I know who you're talking about.
Tomorrow with Heritage Ways.
Yes. We were in the same campground as them in Missouri. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
Yes, consider it joy. He tunes me out on the air also. Mm-hmm.
No.
You're seeing it right now, live. Yep.
No, that's not true.
So anyway,
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I have to defend myself. I have to defend myself.
Go ahead. Would you like to shovel now or later?
I am busy doing all this other stuff. I have chat running here, stream running here. I have our guest connected over here.
But he has all the controls over there, so when he points to me that we're live, he should have my mic ready to go, correct? Tell me I'm right.
Well, it just wasn't loud enough.
Okay.
It was ready. It just wasn't. If you would have hollered, they'd have heard you.
Selective hearing. Thank you, Patty. Yep.
Oh my.
And white picket fence is putting on her boots.
Well.
So anyway, we are having lunch with Heritage Ways tomorrow. Yeah, they all have excuses. Give me a break. Hey, John, how you doing? So when you have a chance, check out, if one of our mods could go out and get their Ural Heritage Ways, Miss Katie, Mr. Patience, and their three littles, the three kids they have at home, they sold their home and are traveling around the United States. And they just happen to be, 30 minutes from us?
Oh, not even that.
Not even that.
Yeah, 15.
Yeah. So we're meeting up with them tomorrow.
Well, their relations are 15 minutes, but they're 30 minutes away. So you were actually a little more correct that time. A little bit. Smidgen.
So I think now's when we should bring Joe out. Because there's a real big shovel in the front yard I can go get. So we'll bring out Mr. St. Bernard Acres.
Hold on, I'm getting this set up here.
Oh, and he doesn't even have this ready yet.
No, Joe's ready.
Yeah, but you're going to bring him. There he is.
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay.
You want him?
Nobody wants me.
Who is it?
Who is it?
Who is it?
You don't know?
Well, I'm waiting for your introduction.
I already did.
You did?
Yes.
I didn't hear it.
Welcome to the Laurel and Hardy Show, folks.
I need no introduction.
How are you, Joe?
Go. Hey.
Hi, everybody.
Hey, Grammy Karen. How you doing down there in West Virginia?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Been here having fun.
Good.
Just listening to y'all is fun.
Yeah, especially tonight. He's full of it. Must be because Joe's on here.
You think?
Could be.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Me either.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
Any suggestions how to overcome these issues without having to pay for more space?
What issues?
I'm not sure, Cheryl. Am I going to hit him with it or blurry him? Cheryl, I'm not sure what you asked. I'm sorry. Need nature now. Welcome. Glad you're here. I will check out your channel once we're done here, because that's about the only time I'm going to have to check it out. So you'll see a comment from us.
Rico's Homestead. Glad you could make it this evening.
Little Gardens, Big Dreams, you have a wonderful week. Next week, yes, we will have our live stream. We don't know where. We're not sure with whom. So it should be a surprise.
Much like tonight's.
Yeah, tonight was we need a person for this Monday night. The person that was scheduled backed out. And Brenda offered, Duncan 1900 offered. And Joe technically was scheduled for next Monday. And we said, Joe, you want to move it up a week?
And you know what? If you talk to my agent, maybe I could do next week as well. I'll let you guys deal with that.
You have an agent?
Gonna,
Have your people call my people.
Your people call my people.
our peoples are going to be talking here.
Yeah.
Oh my! All right.
Yeah.
So Joe, where you from? Tell everybody where you're from.
Oh my goodness! Originally Cincinnati, Ohio.
Go Bucks.
So I didn't know you were originally a Buckeye.
Yes, I was born in Cincinnati, and I have lived in 26 different states.
Wow.
Didn't find anything you liked or what?
No, I kept trying. I mean, I have a license in 4 states. I'm wanted in 3. No. My family, it's weird. I kind of mentioned it in a couple of my story times.
We're not going to see you on
I
any
got
of the
to go
milk
with-
cartons, are we?
Pardon me?
We're not going to see you on any of the milk cartons?
Not anymore. I got rid of those.
Jeez, thank goodness.
But yeah, I mean, I primarily when I got out of the Navy, and I lived in Cincinnati and Chillicothe, in that area, in Chillicothe for a while. Then I wound up getting on the road, just hitchhiking around the country for a few, probably 9 months to a year. Wound up in Las Vegas. Went broke there. Wound up in Houston.
Wait a minute. You went broke in Las Vegas? You said you went broke in Las Vegas? Were you gambling?
Oh, heck yeah. I have a huge gambling problem.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't gamble now. I don't play the lottery. I have a casino 10 miles from here on Wheeling Island.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you're pretty
I go over there
close.
on Friday nights and have the seafood buffet, but I do not gamble. I can't take that chance because it's bad.
Okay.
So I don't bother anymore. It was fun when I was young, but
Well, you just
I wound up in Houston and decided I didn't want to be homeless anymore. So I got a job.
You just recently retired, did you not?
Pardon me?
You just recently retired, didn't you?
Yes, kinda, in May.
Kinda?
Yeah, I still go to work every day. I just work less hours. I'm in there every day, it seems like, till noon. I work 3 or 4 hours a day. Just slowly winding it down.
Okay. I guess I wasn't aware of that. I knew you had planned to retire, and I thought that time period had come and gone, so I thought you were retired.
Yeah, I took the early retirement, my early Social Security, and so I'm limited in how much I'm allowed to make.
Right.
Until I hit 66.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can work earn as much as I want.
Yeah.
So I kind of have to watch my YouTube money. I have to know kind of like what I'm going to make next month off of YouTube, and then I adjust my hours accordingly at my job.
There you go.
We don't have that. We don't have that
YouTube
issue.
has been lately. I'm working more and more hours at my job.
Yeah. We don't have that issue.
Mallard 5 Farmhouse said that he lives close to them. They live like from Wheeling Island. They're 45 minutes upriver.
Yeah. This is a big area for YouTubers for some reason. This whole
southern Ohio and
the Ohio Valley. I've met a lot of people that have YouTube channels and homesteads and the such.
So your current residence is in West Virginia, but yet your future retirement homestead is in Ohio. Is that correct?
Well, that's the plan right now. That's why we bought St. Bernard Acres about 7 years ago now, to build out there and eventually retire to out there. But that's all up in the air. My wife still has to work another 3 years before she's eligible to retire. So we're stuck here. And then, things may change. We bought that van. We're going to convert it to a camper and do some traveling and everything. We might find a place we like better and sell St. Bernard Acres and move somewhere else. I have no idea. I've been a nomad my entire life. I don't mind the nomadic lifestyle. So we're going to do, like I said, some traveling and see what's out there. And there may be nothing. We may, I love St. Bernard Acres. That's why we bought it.
Well, your YouTube history is also a little bit unique, where you started a channel and kind of redirected and renamed, and so you've had some strange paths that you're following.
Exactly, and I think that's. I think there are people that we like it that way. I'm kind of weird along those lines. I like change. I get bored very easily, so I have to change a lot. But the core is still there. With YouTube and my channel, I've said this many times. It's never about how much money can I make, how can I market it to make more money. I just have a lot of fun doing this stuff and documenting a lot of stuff, and getting, I can put my videos out there, and then I look at all of the suggestions in it, because I don't know how to do a lot of things, but I can find suggestions from people and go that route. So I think if I looked at YouTube as a business or as a income that I depended on, I probably would do my channel a whole lot differently.
So what got you started in YouTube?
Sharing videos with family and friends who aren't around here. It was an easy platform to upload a video. I didn't know what monetizing was or what having a channel was when I first started. And I think that's why it went through some changes, because it never started out to be a channel when I first started uploading videos. We used to go out to St. Bernard Acres when I first got it and do a lot of shooting. I mean, we still do. I just don't put those videos up. And I probably had a year before I even knew what it meant to monetize a channel, because it just, that wasn't my purpose for, starting a channel. The purpose was strictly, it was an easy platform to share. And by traveling all over this country and having lived in I have a lot of friends in a lot of places. And it was an easy way to, like I said, share with them what's going on and what I'm doing. And then I found out, you can monetize it. Oh, you can do this. Well, maybe I'll try it this way or try it that way. And I've just decided my channel is what it is. It's everything and anything and nothing. I don't know how else to describe it.
Okay, well,
if you have any license plates hanging around, folks, send them to Joe.
Yes, Joe has a license plate barn project.
Yes.
Yeah, the barn beam license plate project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that. That's a lot of fun because I get to interact with people. And I get to do shout-outs for channels that send license plates.
Yeah.
Because I do a video hanging them up there. Again, that's the fun aspect of having it. And having the channel. And now I got, people sending me things to do reviews on and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It may change again. I might want to turn it into something that, I can make money off of. I may actually depend on type money.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have a few items here that we need to do our videos for the reviews, items that were sent to us. In fact, there's one sitting in our mailbox that was sent tonight.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to do them. because I don't want to. Again, it's like, you know, I if it's some really cool stuff that I like, I'll do a review on it, but I don't need to. I get a lot of stuff that I don't even bother with, or a lot of emails, you know, do you want to review this? I'm like, no, if it's not something I would normally buy, I'm not going to do a review on it. Plain and simple. That's how I look at that one.
I agree.
Oh, without question. Well, listen, it's I know it's a little bit early, but let's get one of these trivia questions out of the way and get the phone lines opened up. What do you think?
All right.
All right. So let me bring Smudge out here. He can tell you how we do this.
Hi, folks. It's trivia time again.
It's trivia time again.
And we have to have some rules for this.
So they are as follows.
Number one,
You can only win once every 4 weeks.
Number two, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window
As it appears embedded on the screen here.
Your
And I
chat
didn't check
window
this.
Your chat window may have a different order.
And number three,
You
have to send an email to
twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com.
Send us your mailing address.
So we know where to send your winnings.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Okay, and if you folks can hold on here for just a moment, because the chat wasn't working. So let's see if we can get it to work now.
Oh, there you go.
They say there was an echo,
With Smudge, correct?
I guess.
I'm assuming that was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the echo gone? It was probably just Smudge. He's a pain.
His voice had a familiar tone to it.
You think it was that St. Bernard tone, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Okay. It's not ideal, but at least the chat is on the screen, so you folks can all see it, and that is the official chat then. First question is, are we ready?
Go for it.
Go for it. All right. The first question is, what well-known YouTuber did Joe get his first chickens from?
I know that one.
You're not allowed to play.
Oh, darn it. Not what I've ever known.
Autumn, you want some of those waffles I made?
What well-known YouTuber did Joe get his first chickens from? And, you know, I got to thinking about this. The audience that we have now may not recognize that well-known YouTuber.
You know, that's true, because he's really not like he used to be.
No. None of the above.
Not even close.
Nope.
I'll give you.
Not off-grid, not Rhodes, not Joe Salatin, not Chickenlandia, not Roots and Refuge.
We'll give you a little clue. From Ohio. He is from Ohio.
From deep south Ohio.
Deep South Ohio. No, Life with Lydia, it was not PewDiePie.
Nope, not Yankee Living.
They may not know him.
He has been a YouTuber for quite a while.
He
was
BC Truck. Amazing at BC Truck.
I knew Brad would know it.
Yeah.
okay.
Yep. Brad?
Yep.
Yes. J00.
J00.
Yep.
For those of you in the chat that have never maybe heard of J00, he's had quite the channel, and just different. But he's been a speaker at different events.
Yeah, we met him in person the first conference we went to.
Yeah, at the Appalachian Conference, he's been a speaker there, and so anyway,
He was one of the first channels that I subscribed to once I learned how to subscribe to channels and stuff. Mm-hmm. He was one of the very first because I watched his all the time.
Yeah, he's very good friends with Big Bear Homestead. Yeah.
He's a good guy.
Yes.
I mean, he gave me those chickens. I went down there and, he picked out the ones that would be good for me. And because I don't believe until I got them that I don't even know that I'd seen a live chicken before.
Sky, I have no idea what they want.
Of farming or homesteading or anything. It's all a learning process. And he taught me how chickens work.
Cool.
And that's what I got them, was to learn for when we move out there. I'm going to have them. But
Sky, I can offer Brad this big chunk of cherry wood, but he'd have to come to Ohio to pick it up. What you think, Brad?
all right. So we've opened up the phone lines if anybody would like to call in and ask Joe questions directly. Joe, how long have you been doing the YouTube?
I think when I first bought the property, I started the channel, so 7 years.
I was going to say 7, 8 years, and
Yeah.
and I know that you had a relaunch because you kind of changed your channel with a complete fresh relaunch, did you not?
Yes. Yep. I completely ended one channel and started. I started St. Bernard Acres over basically from scratch. I had my other channel about a year, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I just said, you know what, let's throw that one away, and I'll start a new one. Which back then it was a lot easier. You didn't have to, I think if you had 10 subscribers, you could get monetized.
Yeah.
When I first started it, there wasn't all these restrictions, so there wasn't an issue with just ending a channel and starting a new one.
Brad's being a troublemaker. Joe, Brad wants to know if you have an extended warranty on your car.
Which one?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, see the rototiller I bought today. It's amazing. Off that marketplace, because I want to get a garden out behind the barn next spring. So I finally found a rototiller. I'm gonna learn how to garden now. I don't know how to do that either.
You haven't had a garden?
Well, we had a little bit here at the house, but never a full-fledged garden. I'm gonna have a big one out there.
Well, and for those folks out here tonight that aren't familiar with your situation, you currently live in town.
Yep.
But you have property in another state.
They live in town in West Virginia.
Yes, you live in town in West Virginia, and you have property in Ohio, about 10 acres, roughly.
Yep.
Give or take 20.
Yeah, it's 65 miles from my house here in Wheeling to the cabin out at St. Bernard Acres. It's a 65-mile trip, one way. But the cabin is south of Cambridge, Ohio. And I'm over here in Wheeling, West Virginia.
So,
which means I don't get to do, when I was working full-time, Gail and I work a lot of overtime. or I did up until May. She still does. And I think a lot of people would get frustrated with how slow things were going at St. Bernard Acres. But like last year, I'm sure everybody knows, it rained like every weekend. So if we got a weekend off, we would get rained out. We couldn't go out and do anything. But it has been a slow process because we work for a living. We don't depend on, anything else other than our work. And now that I'm semi-retired, I'll get to, speed things up a bit, get more build out there. That's what I'm looking forward to. But I haven't tied my channel down to one direction. That's why it's not I don't mention Homestead. It's not off-grid. I mean, it's going to be off-grid. It's going to be a Homestead at some point, but it's not. So I don't have it in the name anywhere anymore. I kept trying to do that. I kept messing up because, I would feel guilty because it wasn't really an off-grid homestead.
Well, and I thought you had talked about anyway having some power out there and drilling a well and.
Yeah, it's there if I want it. If we decide to move there permanently and retire to St. Bernard Acres, then I'll probably wind up putting a single wide mobile home out there and run the power and make it, I don't want to. I like the idea of being off grid, and I'll have a system, maybe a grid tied system for a while. But I don't, people confuse living off grid with living a primitive lifestyle. Mm-hmm. And there are things, I don't care. I like air conditioning. I want my central air conditioner, plain and simple. I don't want to go to the creek to do laundry. If I'm going to live there full time.
Bring your rock with you.
Right. So that's why I did away with the whole off-grid thing. My cabin's going to be all off-grid. And if we move a single wide out there and retire to there, I'm going to set up the cabin as like a guest cottage. For anybody who wants to come and visit, they can live in the cabin. But for the next 3 years, I'm going out. Within the next couple of weeks, I'll be putting the solar system up in the cabin. I got it all wired last weekend, I think, or weekend before. I got it all wired for the generator to give me power. So now I could go out there and just plug in the generator, and my cabin's powered. And I'll set up the solar in the next couple of weeks. We'll get that part going. But, it's all, I'm having fun. I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing at the time. I don't have a set schedule or a set agenda. Just whatever feels good, I do. Hello?
We're here. We're listening.
Oh, okay. I heard something weird come across. It may have been my phone. But I got this really weird, I think the aliens were trying to contact me or something.
You think so?
The FBI was listening. I'm not sure. It could have been the FBI. They tapped my phone pretty regular. Just for comic relief.
Yeah, Brad, that's true. Brad says I have to be on grid. It takes a lot of electricity to make me this purty.
When you're as ugly as I am, you don't need any electric to be this ugly.
Ooh, Robin was late because they're making bread. Send some our way.
So, Joe, where you're living now, you have a small garden. You have some chickens.
Well, I got rid of the chickens.
Oh, they're gone. Okay.
Yes, I don't have the chickens anymore. They went on to, we had them for 4 years.
And then you ate them.
No, we couldn't eat them. Not those chickens. We gave them to some people that, have a farm. We got them out of the city. Because I'm fixing up this house now, and we needed to get our yard back in shape for when I sell it. Chickens will destroy a yard. Totally destroy it. And like I said, we'd had them 4 years, and tons of eggs. I mean, the eggs were great. I really enjoyed having them. We got a lot of entertainment from them. All the cats liked them. The dogs liked them. Everybody got along. And they went to live, with other chickens out on the farm. And the ladies, none of them get butchered. They get to live out their natural life. And teach other chickens how to do it, I guess.
Joe, do you most associate yourself as a prepper or a homesteader?
What an interesting question. Because I find it difficult to notice a lot of difference. A homesteader is the best prepper there is. Homesteaders were the original preppers, in my opinion. And it's kind of like the same, I guess I'm probably more of a prepper, but I don't really promote that. The idea is to be self-reliant and self-sufficient, and get away from this life of consumerism. That was my goal with and has been my goal with St. Bernard Acres. And I don't have a 401k. I retired. I'm on Social Security. There is no 401k. There's no stocks. There's none of this kind of stuff. So I kind of like St. Bernard Acres is my 401k. And the more that I can do out there to sustain my own life, the less I have to worry about getting funds somewhere else. I spent 40 years working 60 hours a week. And there was no hours for us. And that's what I want to try to get. I want to be able to go out there and live on a very limited income. And that's the idea behind, being off grid if it's possible, if I can do that. If I can develop a spring and have a water source, I won't have to worry about a well or a well pump. The whole cabin is an experiment and a whole learning process of, what I can do to make myself more self-reliant. So I think prepping and homesteading kind of go hand in hand. If you're a good homesteader, you're an excellent prepper. You're the best there is. And, preppers are, I think of these guys that are like real preppers and have nothing to do with homesteading. All they do is stock food and ammo. Yeah. That's, what good is that?
Yeah, getting ready for when it hits the fan.
But if it hits they talk about the end of the world as we know it and blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, if it's the end of the world, what are you prepping for?
I was going to say, we're not going to know. We're not going to have to worry about it.
If you want to prep for that.
Yep.
That's the only thing I can suggest for that. And, the most important item for me, in my opinion, to prep, the most important prep item, are seeds. I've always said I want to learn to garden, and I wanted a big garden out at St. Bernard Acres because that's the greatest bartering item. People are like, oh, what do you stock so you can barter? Seeds. everybody's going to need them. So, you know, that's another thing I want to learn is how to cultivate my own seeds and how to save my own seeds off of what I grow.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't define myself, you know, to your original question, Daryl, I'm sorry. I can't define myself as a homesteader or a prepper because I want to do both. And I think both are
Well, I think they're very related.
Yeah.
yeah,
They can be entwined. Yeah.
exactly.
Joe.
And I don't want to pigeonhole myself into something.
Yeah. Autumn Oaks Farm has a question for you. First of all, they said thanks for your service as a fellow retiree of AF member. How much did your service experience influence your direction?
You know, I went into service in 1974, and I was one of those. It's like you either go into service or you go to jail. So it influenced me greatly because it kept me out of jail and kind of straightened me out. But I was a photographer in the Navy, so it's not like, you know, I did any kind of combat stuff or anything. I commissioned the USS Nimitz and took it through all of its sea and air trials and on a world cruise. But got to fly off of the Nimitz in the back seat of an F-14 Tomcat. Got to fly off of it and land on it. One of the most terrifying things I ever did in my life. But I didn't really.
That airfield's very, very short, is it not?
Especially when you're up in the air and you're looking for it to land on it.
Yeah, it's like a little stamp down there.
I told that pilot when we got down, I said, you know, if you'd have done any of that fancy pilot stuff, like flip the plane upside down or whatever, I'd have drowned in my own pee. And he had to cut my audio off as we were landing because I thought we were going to hit the back of the ship. I was screaming. And he finally just cut me off. But, yeah, I can't really say that the Navy, other than, you know, matured me. I don't want to make anything up that it did something, but it kept me out of jail, and it, you know, taught me responsibility and duty and honor and discipline. It did those kind of things. So I guess, you know, in the big picture, it was a huge influence on my life. I've always been a proponent, if I was ever in a position where I could pass legislation, I think that all males especially, but at 18, they should automatically do 2 years in the military. Automatic. And for that 2 years, you know, there's a lot of people that really like that lifestyle and will make a career out of it. The ones that do their 2 years and get out, they have a 4-year college paid for then. We just cover it.
Mm-hmm.
But at 18, you graduate high school, you go and into the military for 2 years for what it teaches you. And it teaches you things your parents can't teach you. And I've just always believed that we should do that as a, you know, just join the service and get your college for free after that, if you still want to go to college. You know, my son went in the Army till he blew his knee out. He was in the Army. But yeah, it just, you know, the service was great for me. I was in for 3 years, and glad I did it. Hope that answered your question.
Okay, so with your property as far away as what it is from your house, and you're residing in one state and your property being in another state, this just seems like And I don't know, I guess I don't run in the circles where people handle things in multi-states, but it seems like that raises a lot of questions and how to do things as far as legalities of where you reside, from a tax basis standpoint, from residence, from your car, registration for your car or truck. How does all that handle?
Well, my residence is Wheeling, West Virginia. I live in Wheeling, West Virginia. That's my home. St. Bernard Acres is recreational property. Oops, I moved my phone. St. Bernard Acres is recreational property. It's seasonal. That's all it is. So none of those ramifications are involved. I just got an address out there and put up a mailbox within the last 8 months. There was never an address there. So there are no legal ramifications as far as that goes because I don't live there. It's just a piece of recreational property where I have a camp at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's how they look at it.
Okay.
Joe, Brad is asking, he said you quit smoking a few years ago. Are you still not smoking, and did you take up any other bad habits? Because Brad went from cigarettes to food.
Exactly what I did. But yeah, we still don't smoke, and have no desire to. It was, fortunately, it was easy to quit smoking. I can't believe Gail and I smoked 2 packs a day, and Gail smoked 1.5 packs a day. And we just stopped one day. We were both done with it. Dang, my phone just keeps moving. And if I can give some advice, one of the things we did to motivate us, because, when it comes to quitting smoking, we know it's bad for us. We know it's going to kill us. Death and money are not a deterrent to smoking. You can't quit smoking because you're broke. No matter how broke we were, we always had cigarettes.
Yeah.
But I looked at it like this. We spent $19.45 per day for me and Gail to smoke. So what I did from day one, I put a jar on the kitchen table. And every morning I took $19.45 and put in that jug. I'd put a 20 in there. I'd take my change out. Before we ever went to work, we put that money in there because that's money we would have stopped at the store and bought cigarettes with.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of a month, at the end of 2 weeks, we had $300 sitting on the kitchen table. And that motivates a person. When you actually see it building up like that, that really helped us. And we took that money and we went out and did things that we didn't even realize we were putting off in order to smoke. And that's the continuing motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at that in a year's time, you have $7,000 in the bank that you never had before. It's like, it was amazing to me. It wasn't a health reason to quit. It wasn't, I was afraid of dying reason to quit. And it wasn't because I couldn't afford to buy cigarettes. We just wanted to quit. And now I have been losing weight. I mean, I'm working on losing the weight now. But yeah, it's to me, it's easy to quit smoking. If somebody wants to quit smoking, I'm telling you, it's easy to do it. Quit telling yourself you can't do it. Because you can. You absolutely can. All you have to do is find something you want to do that's more important than those cigarettes. And then that becomes your goal. And real quick, you'll see that money building up if that's what you wanted. Part of what I wanted to do was be able to walk down to the barn at St. Bernard Acres and walk back to the cabin. Because when I'm smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, I couldn't walk back behind the barn and walk back up, without having to stop and, catch my breath and smoke a cigarette on the way back.
Yeah.
So that was a motivating factor as well. But I'm telling you, and I tell everybody, I don't want to hear I can't quit smoking, because you absolutely can. You don't need drugs. You don't need a prescription for it. You don't need to switch over to something else other than like me and Brad with food or, candy, whatever it takes to get off the cigarettes. Then you can work on the other half of it later once the cigarettes are gone. But it only took a couple of weeks, and that desire was gone. It made such an amazing difference, just a couple of weeks, in what we tasted, what we smelled, everything. So, yeah, I don't accept the fact that I can't quit smoking, because I know you can, and if you relapse, you're still quitting. Don't say, okay, I can't quit smoking because I started smoking again. All that was just a hiccup.
Yeah.
Drop them again.
Yeah.
Don't get frustrated. That's what I try to tell people who ask me questions, about, well, I can't get this done. I can't get that done. You set goals, but you set realistic goals. And, people tend to set goals that they can't achieve, and then they get frustrated from it because they didn't achieve that goal, and they give up on everything else. So set little baby step goals, and you build off of those. You set up, a few simple goals. Once you achieve that, you get kind of excited, and there's your motivation again. Set another goal, Don't set a lifelong goal. Set a goal, this year I want to, find a couple acres of land that I can buy. And that's the only thing you have to worry about. Just do that.
Yep. Then go from there. That's true.
Yeah.
Joe J. Love Adventures asking, how many square feet is your cabin?
And I want to say, Finley River Kennels, thanks so much for the super chat. We certainly appreciate it.
Let's see. Somebody's going to have to get a calculator because I'm using my phone. It's 12 by 16. That's all it is. 196 square feet, maybe. And the loft is 6 feet by 12 feet. So another 72 square feet there, I reckon. That's all the cabin is. That's something we could never live in. Gail and I would never be able to live in that cabin because it's way too small for that.
You'd kill each other?
Absolutely. Absolutely we would. We got I don't know, I guess this is about a 2,000 square foot house, 2,500 square foot house, and it's not big enough for it. But see, we're lucky though. Gail works nights and I work days, so we don't ever see each other anyway. We get along better that way. That's how we stayed married for 35 years. We've always worked separate shifts. When we got married, she was a deputy with the sheriff's department in Houston, and worked nights. I worked days. Then I bought a nightclub, so I owned a bar for a while. Well,
wow.
She worked as a deputy.
Joe, I don't know, but did you and Gail ever have any kids?
Yeah, we've got 2 boys.
2 boys?
Yep.
And they're
35 and 31 now.
Are they local to you, or are they across the country, or?
Well, Alex is an over-the-road truck driver, my 30-year-old. So he comes home, once every 6 weeks or so and spends a few days here. And Nick lives here in Wheeling. He works for Halliburton in the gas and oil industry. He has his own apartment here in Wheeling now. So they're kind of local.
Well, what's
Neither
their
one of them's married.
what's their thoughts on your YouTube channel and your property and your ongoing adventures?
Yeah. Well, Alex tells everybody about his cabin out in the country because that's his to all of his friends. They love it. I mean, they're supportive of it, but they're not. It's not their thing like it is my thing. I don't think it's as much Gail's thing as it is my thing. But you know, I mean, they're very supportive of it, and they go out and help. And, you know, when they're in town. Alex comes in for his birthday, takes his friends out there, and they'll spend the weekend out at St. Bernard Acres. So, and it's going to go to them if we die, so they know they'll have to do something with it. But they're very, you know, we're very lucky to have kids like them. I mean, luck was part of it, but part of it was the way we brought them up. And that's what I try to explain to another thing, one of my philosophies in life, if I may, now that I'm 62. I think Nick and Alex, they've never been into drugs. They didn't get any girls pregnant. They've never been to jail. You know, none of this kind of stuff. The most important thing to do with the kids is keep them busy, you know, and whatever they were into, I got into. So that, you know, I know more about dinosaurs than I ever needed to know in my entire life because Nick loved dinosaurs when he was little. So I took him to Ohio State University when a paleontologist would be doing a speech there. Nick would want to go, and I would take Nick. Alex loved Boy Scouts, so I became a Boy Scout. Whatever your kids are into, get into it with them. Keep them busy. Because when they get bored, then they can be influenced by peer pressure. You keep them busy and keep them entertained, they're not going to get bored. They're not going to go for that other crap. So, you know, we were lucky that way. And, you know, we I don't know how to say it. Schools don't teach history anymore. I taught my boys history. We would sit down and discuss. We would watch the news at night, and we would discuss things. They were very smart. They were very, and still are now. They have those habits where they're very aware of everything that's going on, and you can sit down and have a good discussion with them about anything because they're very well-rounded. You know, it wasn't real regimented. I mean, Nick at 13 years old, he decided he didn't have to listen to us or be the way we wanted him to be anymore. And I forget what triggered it, but Nick got 30 days of lockdown. And what that meant was for 30 days, Nick came home from school, he went to his room. And in his room was his bookcase with his books and his bed and his dresser. No TV, no computer, no nothing. No interacting with the family. He went to his room. At dinner time, he came down, got a plate. He ate in the breakfast room. When he was done with his dinner, he went back to his room. And he did that for 30 days. It was very hard to do. But for 30 days, that was his life. He got 30 days of lockdown. And I'm telling you what, 2 months later, I had 2 different teachers from his school say, "What did you do? What turned him around like this?" And that was it. When Alex reached that age, all he had to do was be reminded what lockdown was. And he never developed that kind of attitude. You know, so there was punishment there, you know, of course. But, you know, Nick, when he was 16, Gail and I were sitting in the living room one night. He was out with his friends. And he came in about 9:30. He looked in the living room, and he said, "I'll go upstairs and get my stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, crap. Are the cops out there?" "Yeah." Like, all right. So I walked out back where the cops were. They all knew us because we had St. Bernards in Cincinnati, and everybody knew our St. Bernards. And Nick and a half a dozen of his friends had all hopped over the fence at the community pool and were swimming, in the community pool. So the cops went and got them all and took them all to the police station and made them call their parents to come and get them. And those kids were like, yeah, call my mom. She'll come and get me. Well, call my mom. Call my dad. He'll come and get me. And Nick was like, whatever you do, please do not tell my mom about this. I will stay here tonight. Do not call my mom, please. So the cops figured we were doing something right. They brought him home. Didn't make him go through all of that. And I told Nick, you don't have to go get your stuff. That was dumb to do, but don't worry about it. I did worse. But yeah, I've had those two boys that, they don't do a lot of videos with me, but they're grown and have their own lives now.
Yep.
Okay, well, Joe, let's bring Smudge back out, get another trivia question going here, and so just relax here for a moment.
All right.
Well, hi, folks. It's trivia time again. And we have to have some rules for this, so they are as follows. Number 1, you can only win once every 4 weeks. Number 2, you must be the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat window as it appears embedded on the screen here. Your chat window may have a different order. And number 3, you have to send an email to twofamilyhomestead@gmail.com. Send us your mailing address so we know where to send your winnings. Good luck.
All right, I'm going to see if it did not pick it up. It's just giving me fits tonight. There we go. Had to wait and make sure that the chat gets to be running the way that it's supposed to be. So I apologize, folks. I don't know what the situation is going on here with YouTube and the chat, and this all has a little bit to do, I think, with this new live streaming program that they have. Because it's kicking me anyway. So anyway, the questions. Well, before I go to the questions, let me just reiterate what Smudge had to say. The official order of chat is on the screen. It is flowing through now properly. So that is the official order that we have to go by. The questions. Second question is, if everybody's ready, name the 2 St. Bernards that gave St. Bernard Acres its name. There was a pair of St. Bernards. Name them, please.
And you can hum the Jeopardy tune in your head as you're trying to figure this one out. Yeah, exactly. Jay Loves Adventures.
Yep.
There you go. Yep.
All right.
Maggie and Misha.
That's my kid right there.
That was my girls. But you know what? Now, before Maggie and Misha, there was Sam and Brandy. And they're part of it, too. We have a spot out there that if we move out there between 2 big old trees we're fixing up. And all of our animals have been cremated. We have all their ashes. And we're going to bury them out there. Except for Brandy. Brandy was so special that Gail knows when I die, her ashes get buried with me.
Okay, so Joe, what's the future hold for St. Bernard Acres here? What's your 5-year plan?
To finish the cabin, to have the garden. Right now, the 5-year plan is to move out there as well, to put a trailer out there, a single wide, and move to it.
Animals?
That's our long-term plans right now.
Animals? Livestock?
Yes. We'll have chickens, of course. That was the whole reason for getting those chickens from John, was to learn how chickens work, because I didn't know anything about them. We'll have our gardening. We'll have goats, probably. Our friend that lives down the hill from us, because St. Bernard Acres is kind of like at the top of a hill. Our barn, we're going to put 2 wind turbines on each end of the, a wind turbine on each end of the barn. We're probably about the highest point in the whole county. We're up at the top of the hill. And our friend right below us has cows. So, we don't have to worry about getting a cow. But we'll do chickens and goats, maybe a pig, because Gail met John.
Just lost sound.
Well, you just...
Hold on, Joe. We can't hear you.
But that's our 5-year plan. I mean, that's going forward. That's what we're going to do. That was interesting.
Yeah, we had a...
It's like a burp. Is it working now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working now.
Poor connection.
Yeah, it's poor connection, so it dialed down in its requirement here for right now.
I see. Okay.
So,
But yeah, that's our 5-year plan, and and to keep making videos and having fun doing this stuff, and
do you
get the camper van going so I can travel around with you guys to all these different meetups and things.
Well, I was just going to
do.
ask if you had any plans to attend any meetups or conferences, or if not in the homesteading genre, into the Mother Earth news fairs and stuff like that, or
no firm plans on any particular one yet. It's just once I get everything together on this end, then I'll be able to firm up some plans. But none, no particular one am I shooting for. It's just whenever I can get the van finished, then I'll sit down, look, and see what's coming up, and we'll decide from there.
Well, I know you've talked about learning about the chickens, learning about some different animals and stuff like that. But one of the hardest parts, I think, for somebody that hasn't done is I'm going to use the term full cycle on the livestock. In other words, where
This is really bad.
Where you actually harvest your livestock. And do you have any?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll learn that.
Losing him again.
Yeah, it's still showing a poor connection here. So.
Maybe
Yeah, it's been,
it may be telling us that it's bedtime. I don't know.
I don't know either. Joe, are you still able to hear us okay?
hard to say whose end it is on.
Yeah.
Everything I show on this end is fine, and we're obviously still streaming fine. So,
It's Xfinity. These guys, man, I pay so much money for this. And it's crazy. I think he's coming back now.
Yep.
All right, I want to invite everybody in the chat right now that the phone lines are open. I'm actually shocked we've not gotten a phone call. I hope it's working. So feel free to call in. Joe doesn't bite.
Not that we know of.
I answer anything. I'm an open book. But I'm not. I think, also primarily your audience is homesteaders.
That's the core of our audience.
And I'm not really a homesteader. I'm a homesteader wannabe, but I can't
Well, I don't think there's any definite.
offer any advice
Yeah.
to anybody
I don't think there's any definite
on the homesteading front.
definition of what a homesteader is supposed to be. I mean, it's just, right mindset, want to be self-sufficient.
The homesteader, it's gotten so overused. There's 25,000 homestead channels that have homestead in the name
Yeah.
simply because it's a catchphrase. It's a key phrase. And I think the homesteader is a well-defined person. And it's hard to find true homesteaders anymore. Homesteading has become too broad, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Oh, I bought one of those tomato plants that you hang upside down because I'm a homesteader.
Yeah.
It's out on it's out on the my apartment here. So I'm a homesteader. And I think too many people try to use it just to get attention to their YouTube channel. That's just my opinion. The same thing happened with off-grid. The same thing happened with preppers. It's like everybody became a prepper once that became popular. It was the prepper. Now every channel is the homesteader.
I'll be right back.
Okay, well, the connection, it seems to be going downhill here in a hurry. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to kind of shut this down here. Folks, we want to thank everybody for being here this evening. We've had a wonderful time. I apologize for the connection issues that have just recently here developed. We're still sort of have Joe connected, but it's gotten to the point where it's very difficult to hear him. And so I think we're gonna shut this down for right now. Next week we will be doing a live stream. We're not gonna tell you who or where at this point in time. Just be around next Monday night. We'll have something else.
Jay Loves, these will go out in the mail to you tomorrow.
And
I think I still have your address.
Anything else we need to?
Yeah. Needle and thread, a shovel, and a cast iron can make a homesteader for sure. Yeah, Michigan Mike. That's about right.
Okay.
Nope, that's about it.
That's about it.
Joe, we're very thankful and glad that you were able to make it tonight.
Yes, thank you so much. And apologize for the, I don't know where or what is going on, but the connection is obviously flawed at the present time. So, folks, have a wonderful week. Take care. Do something today that makes tomorrow better. And we will see you later. Night, folks.
Good thing. Thanks, guys.